Hello, I'm Nina Kelly. I'm Chief Executive Officer at a charity called Safe New Futures, and our mission is to help people overcome mild to moderate mental health issues in order to become economically active and financially independent, which in turn helps people's mental health. And once they are in work, we care just as much about people that they thrive and prosper in the workplace. And we have a training company called Choices Training and Development Limited that helps people in the workplace to do just that. So one topic that we're going to cover and tackle over the next few weeks is that of loneliness in the workplace. It's part of a series of podcasts that we are doing, which is looking at modern day issues that we love to ignore and questioning ourselves. How much do we really care? Now, over the centuries, at-risk groups have been shunned, feared and judged in equal measure, although there's always a handful of people who seek to understand, support, help. And this series is for those who want to grapple with the issues that are difficult to talk about, for those who want to be part of ensuring that these difficult stories get told and that people have a voice to talk about their stories. Now, remember the few that stopped and stood with those at risk of HIV as recently as 1981. Obviously, that's recent for me. It might not be at all recent for some of you, but some of those diagnosed as HIV positive were treated not unlike the lepers of centuries ago who had to carry around bells crying out, "Unclean, unclean," so that passers-by could avoid contamination. Or take the case of women in the middle of the last century who were forced to give up their babies, with the scandalous bullying and ostracization they endured only coming to light relatively recently, actually. And likewise, the babies, now grown adults, were left struggling to find the identity of their birth mothers and had very little hope of finding their birth fathers. Their story only started to be told decades later. Now, this series is to help us hear the voice of those who struggle to speak for themselves. It's for those who can resonate with the message as well and become part of the voice for people to hear. And it's also for people who don't want to turn away, but who seek to be there and do what they can to identify with the issues and become part of the solution. Now, this is the challenge that this series of podcasts seek to put to listeners, knowing, for those that want to stand up and be heard and those who want to support and give, that actually the rewards will be greater than the sacrifice involved or the time involved in doing so. And sometimes there can be a bit of pain in speaking out and standing up, but the gain for all those involved is great. So, as I've said, the first issue in this series looking at modern day problems that we would prefer to ignore is the modern day pandemic of loneliness. It affects half of adults in the UK, with those under 30 being the most affected group. Many listeners will identify, others will most certainly know someone close to them who is affected, and this is a first quick dive into the issue of loneliness in the workplace and how we can understand and help. Thank you for being part of our journey.